Hey y'all, it's me, Satu, back with another video. And I, for those of you who may not know me, I started a YouTube channel just to talk about my tarot deck collection and kind of join in with the tarot community. A couple years ago, I haven't been here very long, but I took a 1 year hiatus and came back trying to see, what I want to say, when it comes to my collection, when it comes to tarot and cartomancy, when it comes to spirituality and mental wellness. I'm just trying to figure it out like the rest of us, but my hope is to maybe share things or discuss things that are relevant for people who are going through the same existential shit that I am. So, um, I as when I got back onto YouTube, my algorithm completely flipped up or switched up, and I started getting all of the tarot tube videos back in my algorithm, and so it's been really nice, kind of catching up on videos and seeing who is who's doing what and making what and how everyone's practice is going. Um, and so I saw that Rochelle from Amethyst Ascension posted a tarot tag, a two-part tarot tag called hashtag TarotTube 2026. And I'll tag her videos below, obviously. But I thought that the questions that she brings up in this tag are so relevant to like kind of what I'm trying to do now, um, that I thought it would be a worthy kind of exercise to jump in on. And at the end, she does offer a spread to continue to reflect on, our own unique visions for how we see ourselves participating in TarotTube and the tarot community in general. And so I thought I'd maybe share that with you all as well. We'll see. But for one, I am looking at my computer screen, so I'm going to be kind of looking back and forth in questions. And this is just part two of her reflection. So part one is kind of where we are in TarotTube, and then part two is about like where we are going or where we want to see ourselves going in TarotTube. So the first question, we'll take a little sip. The first question, what kind of tarot content do you want to create in 2026? And that is a question I'm still kind of figuring out. I want to do a mix of things. I want to, of course, continue to talk about my collection. I really like collecting tarot, and that's just what it is. And I understand that that is a very niche corner of the internet, the web community of people. But I decided that I'm just going to lean into that and go for it. But I also want to kind of branch out and really be a little bit more open about the things that I think about philosophically and spiritually. And I want to talk more about my personal practice, um, and maybe kind of go through that journey with folks and kind of through that, maybe find some more ways to connect with people who, like I said before, who are maybe wrestling with the similar issues that I'm wrestling with as well. Um, and I also want to talk about other stuff like books and movies and just cultural critique, you know. But I also understand that I'm not like the most advanced video creator. I'm self taught. I'm a one person show. So compared to folks who are making these wonderful video essays on YouTube, like I don't think I'm prepared for all that, but I'm willing to learn as I go and maybe give it a shot. Second question, what kind of tarot content do you want to watch more of? I want to watch more content that focuses on people's practices, like how they use decks, Um, what uh, and also like I want to learn a little bit more about how people are practicing cartomancy in the community. Like I want to connect with people who are also reading for other people, whether that's professionally or just, um, as a hobby. And what are the experiences of doing that? Um, and yeah, I think I want to learn more about people's practices. Yeah. Learning about upcoming decks that are coming out, it's cool, but I think what I'm interested in is how to use more of what I already have in my collection and all of the various ways that I can use what I have in my collection. So, kind of thinking outside the box as far as what I can do with tarot, with oracle, with playing cards, and that type of thing. What kind of tarot content are you ready to disengage from? I, I mean, I'm not really. I don't know if I will purposefully disengage, but I do find myself more often kind of um, overlooking. Um, like I try not to watch too many deck haul videos. You know, um, like I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break because I know because here's what I do. I put on a video. I have my phone or my laptop. And I'm like on Amazon or I'm like in Google search, like kind of searching as people are sharing the type of decks that they got in. And I know that that leads to a habit of spending. And so I'm just trying to monitor that myself a little bit more by kind of balancing the types of videos that I watch regarding tarot collections and and tarot decks and that type of thing, knowing that I also do contribute to that ecosystem, right? But I'm also keep like creating my trying to create my own habits to curb my own to curb those issues on my own as well. What values matter most to you in a tarot community? I honestly I think that it is important that people stay true to themselves. And I think above anything else, I value authenticity. And I know that as of late, there's been like this kind of schism where there's these videos who are like, I tell it like it is, which honestly I love. And then there are videos that are like, be nice, be kind. And I feel like there's there can be a balance of both. You can both be authentic and be honest with how you express yourself, um, while also being compassionate and kind. What I don't want people to do is police themselves and to change what they say about a deck um, because of this expectation that we have to love everything that we consume or try to use. Because sometimes we don't, we just don't, and that's okay. I feel like having an opinion is what makes tarot collecting and being a part of this community of fellow collectors so fun and interesting is that everyone's tastes are different and unique to their needs. And I want to learn about that, right? I also make decks, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was someone out there, with my Oracle deck saying like, I don't know what the fuck this is, Totally get it. Don't take offense to that at all, right? I understand that not everything out there is for me, and that's okay. And also, I have a right to express that, but I'm going to express that in a way that's not meant to hurt feelings, that's not meant to take digs at people. Like, it's just me being a consumer, talking about the things that I consume. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but I just want people to be honest, I think, on the internet, is what I'm saying. But honest in a way that is that's respectful, you know? And I feel like a bunch of people that I interact with more regularly in the community, we generally are, you know. I've never come across someone, well, actually, I take that back, but I've never come across people that are like just so mean and so horrible, you know, for the sake of being that. That's not something that I see. But what I do see is I see people tend to get on people for having negative opinions, and I just like I don't like that either. Like just because you know a deck creator personally, I don't think should absolve them from receiving critique. Every time we put something out there, we are opening ourselves up to critique. I just think that there is um, a respectful way to express that critique if you have it, you know. And my thing is, I want to spread love and light everywhere I go. I want to spread positivity. I want to spread um, meaningful conversation. And the thing is, you can't have meaningful conversation if you're not being honest. So I don't know. What boundaries feel important for you as a creator or a viewer? Boundaries. Boundaries. I think the only boundaries that I can think of are boundaries that I practice for myself. Um, yeah, I the only boundaries that I can think of are like what I do, what the decisions that I make regarding how I view and what I view or what I watch or what kind of content I consume. Those are boundaries that I set. Those are personal boundaries that I set for myself that really have nothing to do with what anybody else does on the internet. Um, as far as other boundaries, like I don't know. I don't know. I think everyone has a right to present what they want to present. And then I either take it or I leave it. And that's kind of what it's going to what it's going to be. How do you want tarot to feel in your life moving forward? I want tarot to be more integrated in my life. And that is part of why. So on Instagram, I don't know, for people who might have been following me, I used to have an Instagram account specifically for tarot, and then an Instagram account for just like all my other stuff, just in life. And what I decided to get rid of the tarot only account and basically try to infuse my tarot interests into my personal account. So Satushan on Instagram is I want to integrate everything about me, my tarot reading, my book reading, my writing, my artistry, all the things that are me, my mental health practice and journey, my journey through becoming a mental health professional, all of that in this one account. It's public. And I also have like a close friends section that I expanded to include people who um, I've interacted with in some form or fashion online or in real life who want to see a little bit more of the wacky side of me as well. So I think for me, I just want to be a little bit more integrated. And I don't want to feel particularly like I have to hide the fact that I read cards, whether to friends or family or people that I've met in other contexts, like people I went to school with or people that I maybe work with. Like I want to to accept all the parts that I am, and I want, and in doing that, I want people to also accept all the parts that I am. And if they don't, then just go somewhere. Don't police what I do, okay, on the internet. Okay, and the last question is what kind of energy do you want to bring into the tarot community in 2026? Honestly, like positivity and genuineness. I want to be real and I want people to feel like they can be real on the internet in 2026. And I know that's very hard to do in a social media landscape that wants us to say all the right things all the time. But what I've learned is, you know, because there's several thousand different opinions and views about everything, you're not going to please everyone. And I want people, including myself, to just be okay with that if they're going to be on the internet in 2026. I feel like for me, and I've been saying this through this whole video, I try to conduct myself as honest as possible with as much compassion as I can. And I just try not to be a troll on the internet, right? Um, and I try to put my best self forward at the same time. I think, in 10 or 15 years ago, we weren't thinking about what shelf life the content we were making back then would have, in the future. And I feel like now, especially as I get older, obviously, we do have to think about these things of, what I'm posting right now, how is it going to look 10, 15, 20 years from now, right? And so I do want to make sure that whatever I'm bringing out is part of what I believe to be my best, my best. Okay, these are really great questions. I just want to thank Rochelle for kind of bringing this into the conversation on top of 2026, because I was trying to figure out like how do I talk about these things, and these questions are have been perfect for me as someone who's like kind of returning into like the video making, the content making kind of side of the tarot community. And so next thing I want to do, I'll probably flip the camera around, or maybe not. I don't know. You'll see. But the next thing that I want to do is I want to go through Rochelle's spread, which is the TarotTube 2026 vision. So let's see what we got. I am going to be using the Sci-Fi Tarot because I guess if this is about future visioning, then maybe we should bring in the Sci-Fi Tarot to envision the future, right? Okay. Shuffle. Splits. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Card 1, guiding value. What value should guide my participation in the tarot community going forward? And I have the Ace of Pentacles. And I think this is lovely because as I'm moving into more generally in my life into um, more of an entrepreneurial spirit, I think taking more risks, and really kind of leaving myself open to what opportunities may arise from my participation in the tarot community may be the way to go. And it's really weird because it's something that has been kind of in my heart, but I've been a little bit afraid to admit, because to admit would mean like, oh, one more other endeavor that I would have to work towards. And it feels exhausting just to think about. But it's like, what are the possibilities of having this channel on YouTube and exploring cards and exploring inner wisdom through social media? I started a Buy Me a Coffee thinking that I could start to kind of trickle out content that I want to share with the world in regards to how we can use tarot to increase our wisdom and knowledge of self. And so I am at the beginning, kind of the stages of exploring like what does that look like. Card 2, my contribution. What energy or perspective do I bring into this space? And we have the Three of Wands here. And it says a journey into the unknown, a light on the horizon calls to you. I love this deck. My contribution with energy perspective. Um, so I think for me, it seems like the energy that I'm trying to articulate or bring forth here is just an energy of intention, to be honest, which does resonate with me. I just want to be intentional. I don't want to be out here just being like, well, here's this and here's that. Like, I really do want to think more thoughtfully about what it is I'm sharing with the world and why, and the impact that I want to have. And I think, you know, as I move forward with content creation, thinking about where it is that I want to go and just maybe just kind of going for it, um, is really important. And also, again, going back to that idea of risk, taking intentional, calculated risks, um, I think is a biggie for me because I think that's what caused me to stop creating content uh, a year ago, which is like I was afraid to take risks. I'm a mental health practitioner. I started working with patients and I was like, well, what if they see my channel? And what if? And so I felt a little bit frozen and stuck and like, how do I proceed? I'm really interested in this thing. I want to share about it, but how do I proceed with all the other things going on in my life? And so now I feel like it's all about moving forward, but moving forward with intention and careful planning and strategy. Three, release point. What kind of content, dynamic, or energy am I ready to disengage from uh, in 2026? And here we have the strength card. Interesting. What kind of content, dynamic, or energy am I ready to disengage from? Wow, it's so funny because it's like this card here, it's a picture of she's fighting this beast, but there's really not a lot of effort that she's putting into fighting off this beast. And it makes me think about um, how I want my journey not necessarily to be effortless, but if I'm having to push, so hard, if I'm having to like if I'm what I'm trying to do, if it's an uphill battle every second, every moment, then something is wrong, right? Like if I feel like I'm swimming against a current, right, then I have to think about, okay, why this particular type of energy? And a part of me wonders if, what if I give in to the power of surrender? What type of strength does that give me in this process? And I'm not even just talking about, my content creation at this point. I think I'm just talking about, my life in general. How can the energy of surrender um, kind of more lead me towards my purpose instead of fighting to something that I think may have been my purpose, but is not, like I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a more articulate way. But how can surrender allow me to accept what is meant for me rather than fight for something that may be not for me, I guess. Number four, mutual engagement. How can I engage with community in a way that feels reciprocal and supportive? Ooh, the Knight of Pentacles. It's going to take effort. It's going to take effort. And this, like I have to put forth what I want to receive, right? Like I said, after a year of being like not so involved on YouTube and TarotTube, my algorithm completely like switched up. I wasn't seeing as many videos from other tarot content creators or anything. And so I wasn't really engaging, and so when I started to make videos, my engagement increased, right? I started seeing the people that I was like, oh, they are creating. I just haven't been on this algorithm in over a year. Um, and so I think the more that I engage with people who are trying to do the same thing, the the more I'll receive that in return. And it takes effort, right? I can't just be out there creating videos and putting them into the ether. Like I have to become the the community member that I want to engage with too, you know. Um, and it's going to take effort, right? It's going to take, okay, let me log on to YouTube, you know, one evening and just kind of see what other people are doing, right? Um, how can I give thoughtful responses and thoughtful comments to people who are sharing a lot of times the most intimate parts of themselves? You know, what can I do essentially? What can I do? What can I do? And number five, the last one, the path forward. What kind of tarot community am I helping to create in 2026? And we have here the Queen of Swords, and immediately my mind goes to um, the thought of how do we, I guess, it's this idea of right speech, right? Um, or how do I kind of not necessarily, I mean, lead by example seems a little presumptuous and pretentious, but you know, a little bit of like put my money where my mouth is and say if I'm going to be this positive yet genuine influence, you know, in the community, you know, um, how can I do that? Like, how can I claim that so that I can be that, and then maybe hopefully um, make help make things a little bit more comfortable for people to share on the internet regarding tarot. Because I feel like, you know, part of us are like, we have real opinions, and some of us are kind of afraid to like get backlash and what we think about things. And I kind of want to carve a space where I can say what I need to say and show people that it's okay to have an opinion. You know, if the opinion is brought in a way that, of course, is respectful and constructive, right? And compassionate. And so, if I can demonstrate what that looks like, I think that would be a contribution to the community in 2026. All right. So I think that is kind of all I have to really say. This was so cool. This was so cool. I'm probably not going to do part one of this tag, but I really like the idea of kind of reflecting in this way. And this is kind of what I want to do more of, using tarot in this way, tarot as a point of reflection and kind of showing demonstrations of that so people can do it too. You know, and we can all do it together. We can all be really thoughtful about tarot together. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Is there anything that I said that resonated? Do you have any thoughts percolating? Do you know of any more people who have done this tag that you want to tag below? Please let me know. In the meantime, I hope everyone has a wonderful, safe, and warmer than what we're experiencing on the East Coast type of week. With that being said, take care and goodbye.